Hello, everyone. So it's Phil here from One-to-One IELTS. And today I'm going to show you, that's really exciting. We're going to look at how to use this free artificial intelligence chatbot, Chat GPT, to help you study for your IELTS. And it's going to mean that you don't need to ask a teacher lots of things. It's going to be a wonderful resource for you to help you study on your own. So we're going to jump into it. If you've never heard of Chat GPT, as I said, it's artificial intelligence. It's basically, think of Google, but a lot smarter. It's going to be a lot more specific. And it's a program that you can basically ask a question and it will give you a very intelligent response. And we can use this with really specific questions to help us work on improving our IELTS. And today we're really going to be looking at improving our writing. We're going to focus on some idea generation and grammar. So today we'll see how we can check if our ideas are relevant. We're going to check our grammar, and we're also going to have a look at some limitations. Be very specific about your questions. So I've been playing with this software, and it really does require specific questions for this to work well. So I've come up with some questions that you can use. So you can just copy and paste these questions into the software, and it's going to help you with idea generation and grammar. So to start off with, we go to a URL. I will put this URL in the description of this video. So you come to here and you will get this screen. You're going to need to go down just a little bit where it says try Chat GPT. When you click on this, it will actually ask you to sign up to start with. So I've just created an account. You sign up like you would sign up to anything. I'm sure you have thousands of different accounts on the internet. You can just use your Google account, or you can sign up using a different account. It's fine, but it's just a straightforward sign-up procedure. And you'll get to this area. It just says new chat. And basically, we can use this like you would use WhatsApp or Facebook chat. You see down here, ignore everything else, lots of buttons, but this is what we're focusing on here. Send a message. Let's have a look at the first thing that we wanted to work on. We wanted to check ideas. So I'm going to show you some examples that I've used with some student essays. So this is the text that I want you to use. So basically, this is how to check if your ideas are relevant and specific. You are going to type the following into the chat. Are my ideas for the following question relevant and specific, and why? So we can just copy that. And then we need to copy and paste our question statement. Now, I've got some which are already prepared, so I'm going to show you what I've done. So this is my first example here. So are my ideas for the following question relevant, specific, and why? So this is just copy and pasted. And then I have this question. In the future, more and more people will choose to go on holiday in their own country and not to travel abroad on holiday. Do you agree or disagree? And then we're just going to put in our outline statement. So this is where you outline your ideas in your introduction. I've taken this, as I said, from a student. My student has said, I agree with the statement because they really want to reduce their carbon footprint and prices on the international flights will be increasing. I'd like to point out that this is not 100% grammatically correct. It doesn't matter. Even if your sentences are not grammatically correct, it's still going to give you a response. And basically, I'll show you. So in our new chat, we would put this, and you literally just hit enter here. And you'll notice it does some thinking for a bit. And then it gives us lots of ideas. Both your reasons are relevant and specific. This is really important for us for them to be specific. Just being relevant is not enough. And that's why I want you to copy and paste the question that I've given you. If you just ask it if it's relevant, often ideas that are not going to really work very well in IELTS will get through. So you really want to ask this about specific. They directly relate to the decision to choose domestic travel over international travel. Overall, your ideas demonstrate a clear understanding of the question and provide valid reasons to support your position. Here we can see that our ideas are relevant. This is example 1. The other way you could do this, instead of just putting in your question statement, you could just say idea 1 copy and paste idea, idea 2, copy and paste idea. So let's do that quickly with a slightly different format. So instead of writing this whole thing, so I agree with this statement because, and then we're going to idea 1, 2. So they really want to reduce their carbon footprint. Yeah, that's idea 1. Okay. So you could put it in this way as well if you wanted. Just put idea 1, idea 2. Obviously, we have to say if we agree or disagree, so your opinion is going to have to be in there as well for this type of question. And we can just type it in. Okay, and again, we get basically the same information here, which is great. Okay, let's move on to another example here. This time we're going to have a look at an example for a discussion essay. Now, for this, I would like you to add a little bit more text because Chat GPT doesn't know how the IELTS exam is actually run. So we want to be a little bit more specific so that it's very clear to it what we're asking. Here, we're just going to add this extra text here of why do people hold these views? So remember in a discussion essay, it normally says discuss both views and give your opinion. When we're discussing both views, we want to know why people have idea 1 and why people have idea 2. So to do this, again, I've prepared this already. Are my ideas for the following question relevant and specific, and why? So I've pasted in the question. The question is, some people think it's better to choose friends who always have the same opinions as them. Other people believe it's good to have friends who sometimes disagree with them. So we've put in this extra text. Why do people hold these views? And I put idea 1, idea 2, that this student said having friends have the same opinions make people happy. You'll notice that, again, the grammar is not perfect here. We don't have to have perfect grammar for this to work. And the second idea was people with different views are always more honest. Put in this question, and this was the answer. Your ideas for the question are relevant to the topic, but they lack specificity and may not be entirely accurate. We can't speak today. So this, they may not be entirely accurate. We don't want to be seeing this. So why are they not accurate? And it gives us a whole breakdown. So idea 1, it says, it suggests that having friends with the same opinions can make people happy. So while this is relevant, it may need more examples of evidence. This is what your examiner is going to be thinking. They're going to go, it makes you happy, it's too vague. Why is it too vague? Let's be more specific. It is not necessarily true that having friends with the same opinions always makes people happy. Here, what would maybe be better is create a sense of belonging and validation. So this would be a relevant idea. So here it's actually giving you a relevant idea. And the second one, people with different views are always honest. So if we go here to idea 2, idea suggests that people with different views are always honest. This idea is not entirely accurate. Sure, because if you have a different views to other people, they're not always honest. We cannot connect being honest with having the same views or having different views. This, if I was looking at this, I would say this is not a relevant idea. However, we've got alternatives. A friend with a different perspective may challenge your assumptions and reveal new information. So this would be a reason that people want to have friends with different perspective, because it may challenge your assumptions and reveal new information. So within the answer, we do actually have a relevant idea. So not only does this tell us, okay, our idea is not relevant or not really specific enough, it gives us a better idea here of what would be relevant. Now, if we want to check grammar, I've tried a couple of questions and it didn't pick up all the grammar mistakes. So I finally found some wording that seems to pick up all the grammar mistakes. And it's this very important word, all. So what are all the grammar mistakes in the following sentence? So we're going to copy and paste this, and then we're going to put our sentence in. Again, I've already prepared a question here. So if we go to grammar, what are all the grammar mistakes in the following sentence? And this is a paraphrase that student sent me, so you can check your paraphrases that are grammatically accurate. So it says, in the foreseeable future, increasing number of people will opt to go on holiday in their home country and will not to travel overseas on their vacations. So we've got a couple of issues here. We've got a missing article. This preposition doesn't work here. It has told us the following sentence contains multiple grammar mistakes. Wonderful. So number 1, indefinite article error. Increasing number of people should be an increasing number of people. Great, so it's identified our articles. If you struggle with articles, you can put in sentences and check that you've got your articles right. Here, error in the sentence, will not to travel is not grammatically correct. It should be will choose not to travel or will not travel. So again, we've got two options here, which are correct. Then it gives you a corrected version of your sentence, which is wonderful. In the foreseeable future, an increasing number of people will choose to go on holiday in their home country and will choose not to travel overseas for their vacations. So we can see here that this is incredibly useful for correcting grammar. How did you get it corrected before? Well, a lot of students would go to a correction service, pay lots of money for a teacher to constantly correct their grammar, possibly their vocabulary. I haven't checked this out with vocabulary so much, so I'll make another video about that in the future, but certainly it is working with grammar. So far, the two things that we can work on are our grammar and our idea generation. And this is something that I've noticed a lot of students have problems with. Okay, so you will never need a teacher again. Unfortunately, this is not true. This program does have some limitations, and this is going to be especially true because we're answering the IELTS exam, and the IELTS exam needs you to do certain specific things that this AI is not 100% aware of. Let's quickly have a look at what the limitations are, and is that really going to make a big difference? So I think grammatically it's wonderful. You know, checking grammar is wonderful. Just use that question that I've entered in. Something that I noticed when checking ideas, I put in this question. Are my ideas to the following question relevant and specific, and why? Today, more and more tourists are visiting places where conditions are difficult, such as the Sahara Desert or the Antarctic. What are the benefits and disadvantages for tourists who visit such places? We know, having studied IELTS, that when we look at this question, if it says what are the benefits and what are the disadvantages, we need two benefits and two disadvantages. Well, I decided to only put in one benefit and one disadvantage. It does not tell you you should have more, although this essay would actually give you a task response of a band 5 because you're not doing what the question asks. It doesn't know that an IELTS question requires multiple benefits, multiple disadvantages. So it's not going to be able to pick that out. Also, here, if you look at the answer, so the student said, traveling to the Sahara Desert is a unique experience, which most people would like to experience because it gives people a thrilling experience. Now, as an examiner, I'm going to look at this and say, this is not relevant. The problem here is it only talks about traveling to the Sahara Desert. But the actual question itself says, tourists are visiting places where conditions are difficult, such as the Sahara Desert. So we can't only talk about the Sahara Desert. We need to talk about places where conditions are difficult. So if we only talk about Sahara Desert, again, your examiner is going to say this is going to be a band 5 essay because you're being overly specific with what you're talking about. So there are bits like this which are going to trick it, because if we look at the answer from Chat GPT, it says these ideas are relevant. They could be developed to provide more specific and insightful answers, but it's telling you they're relevant. However, an examiner would look at this and say they're not good enough. We need two advantages, two disadvantages, and this is too specific. However, it does still give us a lot of good feedback. So it says, while it may be true that traveling to the Sahara Desert is a thrilling experience, it'd be more relevant to explain the specific benefits. I completely agree with this. So it can provide a unique opportunity to connect with nature and appreciate beauty of the natural world. This would be a much more specific answer. And we'd also need to replace Sahara Desert with places with difficult conditions. When we look at idea 2, it says, while the cost of traveling to such places is certainly a disadvantage, it would be beneficial to provide specific information on the aspects of such trips. So we could say, talk about the various costs involved, such as the transportation is very expensive, the accommodation is very expensive, equipment rental is expensive. If I was actually writing an IELTS essay, I think just putting it is expensive as our main idea would actually be quite good, but we can really use this as part of our explanation. And again, there would be lots of really good examples you could use here. to help you build. So there's a lot of really useful information, but as I said, it's not understanding that we need multiple disadvantages here. So to sum up, is this software useful? Yes, it is incredibly useful. It's going to be really, really useful, especially for you learning about grammar and improving your language. And the number one reason that students are not getting the grades that they want is their language is not at a high enough level. If you can improve your grammar, improve your vocabulary using this software, it's so worth it. And remember, it's free. It's also a great way to help you check on your ideas. It will help you with your explanations. It will provide you with examples if you ask it to. There's a lot of good uses to work on your task response for your writing. Will I ever need a teacher again? Yeah, you're still going to need a teacher to make sure what Chat GPT is talking about is still specifically relevant to the IELTS exam. Using this to improve your grammar, your vocabulary, that's going to take out a lot of questions that you ask the teacher. You don't have to send your teacher an email, wait for your teacher to be in the same time zone, reply back to you. Now you can have all your questions about grammar answered immediately. As I said, you can get a good idea of if your ideas are relevant or not. So lots of really useful stuff, but you're still actually going to need that teacher at the end, not as much, but at the end to make sure that everything that you've written does work for the specific structure of the IELTS exam. I hope you found that useful. As I said, have a look in the description of this video. I will put the link of how to get to this page. It's completely free to sign up. It's really easy to sign up to it, and it's going to be so beneficial to all of you. So I really hope that you don't shy away from technology and give it a go. And hopefully this is going to be a major resource in your IELTS journey.